I'm Brian.
And I'm Jordan.
And we're going to sit in traffic.
Yes.
In this 2019 Chrysler Pacifica Hybrid Limited. Got to get those words right.
All the words.
This is the plug-in hybrid version of the vehicle.
Yes, and I'm actually very excited about this because I am a plug-in hybrid enthusiast.
What differentiates a plug-in hybrid enthusiast from a regular car enthusiast?
I don't know. I like plug-in hybrids, so I cover technology and transportation and how they intersect and all that. And the plug-in hybrid to me is a very significant sort of tipping point because I don't think most people are ready for a full electric car, but most people can get a significant advantage in the way they drive from a plug-in hybrid.
Yes.
Because you get a little bit of the EV world and you get a little bit of the regular world. And so this one in particular has the, I believe, second longest range of any plug-in hybrid on sale today.
Okay.
Well, then that messes it up because the Volt's been canceled, hasn't it?
The Volt, we can play the game where the Volt was a hybrid to begin with, but yes.
Well, no, because the Volt was a plug-in hybrid.
Yes.
And had the last generation Volt had a plug-in electric-only range of like 53 miles.
Yeah.
Long way. This one can go 36.
Yeah.
That's a long way. Most people's commute is not that far. And so you could do your errands, take the kids to soccer practice, drive to work, whatever, on full electric power every day if you charged up at night.
Yeah. I mean, I get that, right? So a lot of people are not emotionally prepared. They have the range anxiety.
Yes.
So this is a good stopgap measure, and that was always the idea behind the Volt at the same time.
Yep.
The Volt never really took off for whatever reason, but this...
They sold 100,000 of them.
They did.
Over 10 years. They sold... It's by far the most successful plug-in hybrid.
Okay, fair.
On the market.
This, to me, seems like an obvious choice if you're going with this vehicle anyways, to get the plug-in hybrid.
Yes, and I think if you're going for... And so this is going to be the debate, right, of minivan versus SUV.
Oh.
And for years and years, Chrysler invented the minivan, and then the minivan stopped being cool, and people started buying SUVs and crossovers. And what is the biggest advantage of the minivan? It's that it's basically a car.
It's a car.
It's a huge car.
I mean, the advantage of the minivan is you can fit anything in here.
Yes, and 6 people, plus luggage, tons of space. The rear seats fold down to make a flat load cargo area.
Yeah.
All that's great. An SUV can do a lot of that, though it's harder to get in.
Yeah.
And it drinks fuel.
It drinks fuel, I mean, and you actually get less usable room because of the SUV styling. Here, the minivan doesn't care. It's boxy, so that you have maximum capacity. When you get into the SUV category, they try to give you style points, which really eat into that usable cargo volume.
Yes, and so an SUV, people like SUVs because you sit up high, right?
People like SUVs because they can tell their friends they drive it.
Well, yes, but no, for driving position.
Yes.
People like sitting up high. And we're relatively high in here because this is like a regular seating position that you would sit at your dinner table or whatever.
Yeah.
You're not in a sedan down low with your feet stretched out. You're sitting up normally. And on an SUV, we would have this similar high seating position, only it would be because the car was higher up because there's more ground clearance. Whereas in this, you're just sitting up high, and then the roof is enormous. If you look at the size of the windows, they're massive.
Yeah.
And then you look in the back, the floor to ceiling height is enormous. You can't quite stand up, but it's awful close. And if you were trying to load your kids into the car seats or whatever, it would be a real advantage.
The visibility is actually excellent in this. It's glass all around.
Yeah, glass everywhere, enormous sunroof, second sunroof in the way back, giant windows, all 4 doors, the windows go up and down. So from that perspective, it checks all the boxes for... I want people to see stuff. I want to be higher than everybody. I want to be comfortable. I want a lot of room for people and kids and stuff and all that. The thing it doesn't do is it doesn't look sexy.
No.
Okay, Acura MDX right there. We can point to that. Looks pretty good.
Sure.
You could fit twice as much stuff and people in this as you could in that.
Yeah. I mean,
but people are going to look at that and say, oh, that looks good because it's an SUV.
Well, we also have to talk about the all-wheel drive issue that people always cling to. The only minivan to this day that offers all-wheel drive is the Toyota Sienna. So there is an option. But in general, for 95% of people, they just don't need it.
They don't need to put winter tires on your car. That's all you need to do. So let's get back to this car. So the Chrysler Town and Country is the predecessor to this, which we have right over there.
Yeah.
Go back to the Dodge Caravan, back to, the original minivan, Lee Iacocca's minivan that took the world by storm in the 80s. And this is now the descendant of it. And I think this is a fantastic version of it. Of all the minivans that are out there, there's the Odyssey and the Sienna and all the other ones that I can't remember. I think this is by far the best one.
This certainly feels nicer than all of those.
Yeah, it's a nice place to be. And this is the limited edition, so it's got all the luxury stuff.
Yeah.
And it's got the S appearance package, which I think the S stands for silly. But it's got leather, and it says like little S things on everywhere, and it's got S badge. And it's like, that's all kind of whatever.
It's badging. You can save yourself several $100 and drop the S.
Yeah, I think that part's very silly. But what is cool is you get the Stow and Go seats in the way back.
Yeah.
And you don't get it in the middle because, like you said, that's where the battery is.
Right. If you went not with the hybrid, the conventional engine, you would get Stow and Go in the middle there.
Yep. So if you want to haul a ton of stuff, you can take those seats out.
Yeah.
They just come out entirely, and you can go down that route and then get the big flat floor if you want. But I think the electric is the way to go for a couple reasons. So this is $50,000 in the hybrid, in the top line trim, and you get a $7,500 federal tax credit.
Right.
And then depending on the state you're in, you might get another state tax credit. In my former home state of Colorado, where I lived for 7 years and actually bought a Chevy Volt while I was there, they kick in another $5,000. So you get $12,500 if you buy this car in Colorado back. So that makes it in the high 30s.
Yeah.
Which, that's super competitive.
But still, for most people, getting this from that $50,625, again, we're gonna get rid of the $800 for that S appearance package, which brings it down just under 50. Yeah, you're at 42 and change, which is a very competitive price for I think, an enormous vehicle. What you can do with this, you're right in the heart of the SUV territory price-wise.
Absolutely, and super practical. Third row. So you look at third row SUVs, like we drove the Acadia a couple weeks ago, and that had a third row, but it wasn't usable.
A lot of third rows aren't usable.
Yeah, but you could sit in the third row in this and be fine.
Yeah.
It's not particularly cramped back there, right, in the grand scheme of things.
Not if you move those middle seats forward, which you can.
Because there's tons of room there.
Yeah.
And then these seats can move forward. There's enough room. You could fit 6 adults in here, I think, pretty comfortably.
Yeah, I would do it. It's probably
plus luggage and things.
It's one of the better vehicles if you're going to do a road trip. To me, this is a road trip machine.
Yes, this is a fantastic road trip vehicle. And I've actually done road trips in the Town and Country, the old version of this, because my mother had one. And this is a heck of an improvement to that. And, going back to the plug-in part, so it doesn't offer a ton of options for how to use the electricity. It basically, you fill it up to 100, and then it burns it down to 0, and then switches over to the dinosaur engine, as we called it earlier. And that's it. Whereas like the Volt. Hi. Okay, you're on video.
She's very mature.
Why is she so aggressively cutting us off? We're trying to shoot a YouTube video
she's
here.
She's got something very pink and fluffy in the back.
Massachusetts 16 Hotel 140. Anyway, so where was I? She messed me all up. Anyway, talking about the
hybrid powertrain.
Yeah, so it burns down the electric. It would be cool if it had some options to hold the electric for a later time if you wanted to, so that you could have a full charge for some other. I don't know, but it doesn't have it. And it's probably not a big deal.
To me, it makes sense to burn the battery down first because for example, if you're going up a big mountain, you want to blow all that electricity so that you can get it all going down.
Well, and it doesn't actually draw this down to 0 either.
Okay.
Is that most plug-in hybrid battery packs, and I'm pretty sure that Chrysler's doing the same thing here, is when it says 100% or when it says 0, it's actually going to 20 to 80% on the battery pack.
Okay.
It doesn't drain it to 0, and it doesn't charge it up to 100, because that's how you get wear and tear on the battery. And if you just stay between 20 and 80%, you'd get hardly any wear at all, which is why the Chevy Volt battery packs, even at 100 or 200,000 miles, are still basically brand new.
Yeah.
Because they've never gone between those. And on this, the really cool thing about plug-in hybrids is that you can plug it in and you could charge it every night. Or if you bought one for your wife, who has told us repeatedly that she would forget to plug it in.
Which she would.
Yeah. You can just drive it normally, never plug it in, and it's just a regular hybrid.
Yeah.
Which I did that for a few hundred miles and it was fine. and the engine would turn off at red lights, and then it would pull away a little bit on the electric, and then the engine would kick back in. And you could just ignore all of that and not touch it.
So the charge monitor here, right?
Yep.
It actually breaks down our range on that chart.
Yes. And so you get the, it shows on the dash the percentage of battery that's left,
Yep.
which in this case is 69%. And then it shows the mileage for electric range, which at the moment is 22 and is falling. And then you get your gasoline range, and then it shows you a combined range.
Right.
So fully charged and fully fueled up, the total range on this is more than 500 miles.
That'll bust your bladder.
Yeah. So you're gonna drive for a while. Yeah, and so you don't have to show that. You can just hide it, and then you never think about it, and you plug it in when you get home, and then you drive it normally, and that is the idea.
And if you are the person who's concerned with consumption, I really like this setup here where it tells you your battery usage, as you drive, right? Power coming from engine.
It also shows
battery.
you driving history, so it can show you per day how much you've done on electric and how much you've done on gasoline, and things like that.
Yeah.
And then you can do things which are useful if you live in states where you can control or you have time of use electricity charging. And so you can enable a schedule for, I want to charge at 3 a.m. because it's cheaper then, and you can save some money with that.
Okay.
So that's cool too. And then it's a standard FCA vehicle, so you have Uconnect, which we both, I think, agree is excellent.
It's very, very nice image quality, I would say this.
Yes, the screen is very good. You've got the buttons. When you're in CarPlay, it shows you the temperature outside, which is nice. Buttons here. This setup is not my favorite.
No, so this... who put a shifter next to the volume knob?
Yeah, so the first time I ever got in a Pacifica, I tried to change the volume, and I went... and put it into neutral.
Lovely.
Yeah, and I'm like, well, that's a terrible design. So you got this that spins here, and then you got the volume knob here. That's not good. Don't do that.
Why are you in L right now, for example?
So L. Drive, it acts like a normal gasoline-powered vehicle. You take your foot off the brake, or you take your foot off the gas, nothing much happens. And then you got to press the brake to slow down. Put it in L, it has an increased regenerative braking mode. And so you take your foot off the brake, or take your foot off the gas, and it begins to slow the car down and regenerate a little bit. It's not a lot. It's not like a Tesla or a Nissan Leaf where you can do one foot driving or anything like that. But if you're going to have this car, you should put it in L.
Does it have a low gear mode?
No.
So you're not taking this to the mountains?
Well, you take it to the mountains because when you're going down, it just regenerative brakes the whole way down. And when you're going up, it's got plenty of torque. It's got a big electric engine. It's fine.
Okay.
You don't have to worry about that. No, remember, the car is smarter than you. Transmission's smarter than you. Everything's smarter than you. You don't worry about it. So I would request that they have the D, and then you could go into the settings and set it to standard regenerative braking or more or less or whatever, which is what Tesla does, and then you just set it and forget it. And I think the regenerative braking in this is little more than just sort of slightly aggressive engine braking in any other car.
Yeah. Love the power flow.
Yeah, power flow tells you how much you're using. So let's see. 93. Oh, and the motor turned on. The engine turned on. And now it's going to turn it off. So if you do juice it and give it a lot of throttle, the engine will turn itself on. So that's going to stay on for a little while to get the stuff circulating, or whatever, and then it'll turn itself back off, I'm sure.
I mean, but really, who's tearing out in a minivan?
I mean, if you're going to merge into traffic, it's nice to know. This certainly has plenty of power. So it's got the electric motor, and then it's got the ICE engine, which I think is some version of the Pentastar 3.6 V6.
And it also has all your other, amenities. I would say your advanced driver safety systems, your automatic emergency braking, adaptive cruise control works fine.
It does have all that. So little weirdness. There's a lot of little weird things about this car.
Yeah.
Here on the steering wheel, right here, you have the cruise control buttons: on, off, set, plus and minus, resume, cancel. Right?
Yeah.
So if I press that button, cruise control ready, and you turn it on, and it sets cruise to 26. But that's not adaptive cruise. Because there's a different on-off button down here. You press that, you get ACC ready. And then you use the same set minus plus minus button.
So, FCA, if you guys want to save a button on your steering wheel, I think I have an idea.
I don't understand why there's two of them. And then over here you have the buttons that control how close you are to the car in front of you. And so now we're in ACC, and I don't know why there's two buttons. That's crazy to me, but that's okay. Over here you got a phone pickup and hang up, the VR with the person talking, which I assume is voice recognition, which we know is going to be terrible, and then up, down, left, right, okay to change modes on the infotainment, which you can go through. Vehicle info shows tire pressure, things like that. A giant digital speedo sits in the middle. It can show you what song's playing, stuff like that. So this is all typical FCA stuff, with the exception of that one hybrid info screen,
and
which is
gives you
special
speed, distance to empty, and temperature.
All three. Does speed over there, and so we got the super distance to empty because it shows you in multiple drive modes what the distance to empty is, and the temperature, and you can actually go in and change each of those to something else, so it's fully customizable. You can change the temperature if you want to make it over on the right side instead, or whatever, which I think is great. They get a seal of approval there. That's enough to get to
those
forgive
are the
me
three
for the
things
buttons.
we always want.
That's the three things. Bob Lutz told me, Maximum Bob said the three things people want to see on their infotainment: temperature, digital speed, distance to empty, and they don't care about anything else. And I firmly agree with that. And so every car I drive, I check, can I do that? So the van passes. That's our
driving machine.
The threesome there. So back to the buttons here. Aside from the volume knob, which is stupid, the rest of it is okay. You got auto park, which is cool, and parking, or the distance sensors, and lane keep, turn on and off, traction control off, whatever. A button to turn the screen off, which is kind of cool.
So you can clean it.
Well, you can clean it, but also I think that's for if you have kids in the back and they're sleeping or whatever. You can turn that off so they don't get distracted by it or look at it or whatever. Because remember, it's a minivan. You got kids. So other stuff, you got auto button, no knobs for volume or for temperature.
Oh, but you can adjust your climate control here. Okay.
Yeah, so this is here. You got dedicated buttons for climate, auto, you got a mode thing, and then you can also go in here.
I'll be honest, I'd rather this be the temperature, two temperature knobs, but
Well, this is the fan. And I'm okay with that, because some people like adjusting the fan. I always tell everyone just put it in auto and then leave it. But, and then if you go into the climate menu here, you get the rear climate controls as well.
Oh, you got to lock the kids out for sure.
Yeah, so you can lock the kids out. They do have controls in the back where they can control those things. Yeah, if they're being bad, you turn the heat up or something. Or you sync it to the front and call it a day. But there are controls in the back that the kids can adjust if you want to, or you can lock them out so they can't mess with it. Or, since we don't have kids, we'll take it out. Other stuff that's kind of cool is you got Blu-ray. So in the back, on the back of each front passenger seat, there are screens.
Yeah.
And they can flip up, and you can watch things. There are headphones and remotes for each one.
Great. The babysitter's in the back seat already.
Yes, they're already included. And so you can get the kids to put the headphones on. They're just regular Bluetooth headphones
I mean, what a deal. Really, if you can get this thing at $42 and it comes with the babysitter already included.
Yep. And so I can imagine that both of our parents would have greatly enjoyed having screens. So you got that. Other cool things that are back there is there are HDMI ports on each screen.
I saw that.
So you could plug in a laptop or an Xbox or whatever. The 110 volt power is back there.
Definitely could have an Xbox.
So you could plug in an Xbox and they can play Fortnite or whatever. You got the Blu-ray player up here. So this is the Blu-ray disc. So you can put a movie in. Yeah. So kids can watch the movie. And so the parents don't go out of their mind for watching, I don't know, what are the kids watching these days?
Frozen.
If they're watching Frozen for the 8,000th time,
yeah,
kids put on the headphones and mom and dad can be up here listening to, NPR or whatever. So that is cool stuff. And there is something to hook up your phone called a Miracast or something like that, which is some way to cast thing. I don't know why they just don't do Chromecast or something, whatever. But you can, theoretically, you can make your phone connect to it as well. I don't know.
CarPlay, full screen?
Then you get CarPlay.
Nearly full.
Nearly full, so you keep the hard buttons down here. And these are customizable down here at the bottom. So you can go to apps, and then you can drag different things. So if you really wanted to have a dedicated driver's seat heater button, you can throw away the climate button and move that.
I'd think about that.
Yeah, so you can do whatever. CarPlay, audio settings, nav, app manager. There's all kinds of stuff in here. So
You can make it seasonal.
Yeah, I guess.
Oh, I'm just saying, like, I want that heated seat and heated steering
Yeah,
wheel
you can drop it. Yeah, you drop it in when you need it. Yeah, so that's good. This is all fine. I wish there were knobs for temperature, but then you'd have to put 2 of them, and you start running out of room. And with this knob here,
you don't want to be grabbing a knob.
There's already too many knobs, so I sort of get it.
So moving on to the fit and finish of the vehicle, I think it's actually very good, with one caveat.
Yes.
We did have that rattle back there when we first got it.
Yeah, so when we first got in the car, went over some potholes and things, and there was a rattle in the back, and I couldn't figure out what it was. And so I made Brian climb over the seats, and you got back there and discovered.
It's the shade on the rear moonroof.
The rear. So there's already the enormous panoramic one, and then there's another one for the rear row passengers.
Yes.
So because they don't want to be left out looking at the sky as well. But we opened it and then it stopped.
Yeah.
And
it's the latch. It rattles around.
So as we know, most people just leave their sunroofs open.
Yeah.
So it's fine. Everything else seems pretty good. The buttons are all standard. This is all standard FCA buttons, which I'm fine with. Steering wheel's good. The leather feels nice, and actually the leather, I think.
This is the upgraded leather.
Is it upgraded?
This is the Nappa leather bucket seats with S logo.
The S logo is important. Well, so you got the captain's chairs in the back, which I really like, and you can keep little Timmy and his sister from touching each other. He's touching me. Yeah, so now you got a separate seat, and you can put stuff in the middle. There's storage absolutely everywhere.
Yeah, so this thing, I'm an avid skier. You could fit skis for days back there.
Yeah, so you can fold the rear seats flat, and then you can run the seats up the tunnel between the other seats. You can fit 4 people, all of the ski equipment.
All of it, and maybe your neighbors too.
Yeah, and then you have giant door pockets, right? And you got medium door pockets. And then down here in the middle, you have this cavern down at the bottom.
So what comes out, you've got this tray, which I think you could easily fit your person. Not that I have one, but hey,
And then you can put it on the floor in this little yacht tray, whatever.
Yeah.
And then you've got a thing at the middle of the front of the center
bin
console.
for your cell phone, which is beautiful.
Yep. You got 2 cup holders. And then you got this storage. And then
something to put your weed in. All right there.
Back here. Look, you got more storage back here.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. There's a fire truck. Does that mean we're going to have lots of traffic?
Possibly.
Sure. And then in here, you have more storage.
I didn't even notice
there.
What are you going to put in there? Another
your
phone?
Wallet, maybe? Yeah, you can put a phone there, I guess. Maybe a less gigantic phone.
Why would I buy a less gigantic phone?
And then in the back, there's pockets in the seats, and there's little hangy places, and there's storage cubbies in the 3rd row where there's also USB outlets, so the kids can plug in all their stuff. And then you get a place to put your sunglasses up here.
Just one set pair, though.
Yeah, but you got the mirror.
Yeah.
So you can look at the kids, which I think is great.
Yeah, it really is all about parenting here in this vehicle.
Yeah, they know what their audience is here. So
this thing would look very practical in any driveway in suburbia.
Yeah, and so Pacifica, if you're going to buy a minivan, I think the Pacifica is the one to get.
Yes.
And if you're going to buy a Pacifica, you should buy the plug-in hybrid.
Absolutely.
Because you get the tax break, and you're green, and if I think most people with minivans, it's safe to say they're driving around a lot.
Yeah, hauling the kids to and from.
Hauling the kids, yeah. But people use them for work too. If you're going to be hauling stuff.
Yeah, but I don't know. Maybe this is a work van vehicle. It
could be. I mean, a lot of people work from home, or you haul stuff. Anyway, I think it would work for that too. Yeah. So other things that are interesting. So you got the charge port up front, and so it plugs in, and it's just a regular level 2 charger, which I think is the technical name is the J1772 charger. And so that plugs in, and it will give you an indication here on the screen of how much charge time you have remaining. From 0, it takes about 2.5 hours or so on the level 2 charger, and a little over 14 hours if you just plug it into a wall outlet. And that's 14 hours for about 35 miles of distance, so it's a little better than 2 miles an hour. Okay. Not very good. But in a pinch, a little bit of extra juice.
I've told this to you, you sleep, right? I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility to get a full night's charge off of your wall outlet.
But if you buy this car, you should get a level 2 charger.
Yeah.
It's a good idea. And one other cool little feature that I noticed is that it shows up there on the dash, see that little hump there? Is that will show you what the current charge status is. So at a glance, you can tell how full your battery charge is when it's plugged in.
Handy.
Yeah, so that's, useful things for an EV. Other than that, this one has automatic high beams and automatic windshield wipers.
Important features that I can't live without now that I have them.
Yeah, you don't. You're like, oh, I can turn my high beams on, and then you have it, and you're like, oh, it's really nice. It turns the high beams on for me. Okay, now I only want a car with this, and then that's how you end up, spending more money on cars over and over and over.
Yeah.
But other than that, so it's enormous. You have buttons that will open and close the rear sliding doors and the rear tailgate, and you can even do it from the key, which is really cool.
And you can lock them here with that button.
Yep, that is so little Timmy can't open and close the doors over and over and over again.
We'd never do such a thing. Timmy's an angel.
Yeah, well, other little Timmys wouldn't. Our little Timmy would never do that. So you got that, and you get lights in the back and lights up here, and it's just, it is a solid family vehicle, which is exactly what it's meant to be. And I don't know, we were talking about this earlier, I don't know that there's a better vehicle for hauling around 6 people and stuff in comfort. I can't think of one, because not even the biggest SUVs, Suburban, once you're in the third row, it's okay, but getting back there is a nightmare, because you got to climb over the seat, and it's terrible. In this, it's not too bad, because the seat slides all the way forward.
This is the kind of vehicle you can imagine prowling a national park with. Load up the kids and go for a drive.
Prowling all the national parks.
Yeah.
And, I think, I don't really get the hate towards minivans. I honestly don't.
People hate what they don't hate the minivan, they hate what the image the minivan portrays.
Well, right,
they hate
because
the thought of domesticity.
So, 35-year-olds today with 2 kids who are looking for their next car, right, grew up in minivans.
Yes.
And so they see it as, oh, that's what mom and dad had. I don't want that. I want something else.
Which is why their parents didn't drive station wagons.
Right. Yes, because the station wagon is just a minivan, 20 years older.
Yeah.
And so...
Which is why today's kids are not going to drive crossovers. I don't know what they're going to drive, but...
Well, by that logic, station wagons. And then the loop begins again.
It's not...
But, if you can get past the, oh, geez, it's a mom car. Well, yeah, but you're a mom. I literally know moms who have 2 kids who are like, I wouldn't buy that minivan, it's a mom car.
Yeah.
And I'm like, soccer ball, diaper bag, you're hauling all this stuff around. What do you think you... And so...
own it, is what you're saying?
Yeah, own it. And, why would you choose a tool? Why would you look at the right tool for the job and then say, no, I don't want that?
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense to me. It's the best vehicle for hauling around a family. Buy that.
And it's this one specifically, it's being a hybrid is perfect for traffic, because not only taking the kids to soccer practice, there's a pretty good chance you need to go to your office park job for, your 8 hours.
Yeah, or you're going to drive wherever and do this stuff. And, it doesn't make any sense. So this... And the price.
It's
$50,000 and they're fully loaded. There's nothing on here that
42 and change with
the tax credit.
You get a lot of vehicle for 42 grand here. Yeah. A lot.
And you get to save money on fuel because, do you think gas prices are going to go down?
No.
No, they're going to go up. And so, you buy the electric car and you plug it in and it's great.
All the features, all the amenities you can want with all of the space at 42 grand. If you bought an SUV, you would pay more money than this. No way.
It wouldn't be as nice. It wouldn't have all the features. It wouldn't be as comfortable. You wouldn't be able to haul as much stuff. You wouldn't be able to haul as many people. It wouldn't have as big a sunroof. It's
all true.
Yeah. If you're looking at an SUV, you want to haul a bunch of people around and stuff, you're looking, I need a third row, go look at the Pacifica.
Yeah.
Because this one especially, it's quiet. Because you don't have the motor running.
Right?
Yeah, it's electric. We've been running on electric this whole time, no problem. Can almost make it all the way back to your house on electric. And 42 after taxes. And you're green. So if you are concerned about, climate change, the environment, and all those things, you get that going for you too. And you can look down, because there's nothing moms like more than looking down on other moms.
That's right. Judge them.
Yeah, you can judge them with their big SUVs and say, but I'm green.
Yeah.
And there are little green badges all over this, little E things.
That's right.
So,
I love moral superiority.
Yeah, and if you can get a car, if there was an option box on there for moral superiority, this has it checked.
Oh, absolutely.
Because it's a plug-in hybrid, so you're all set. And so I think that's, buy Chrysler Pacifica.
Yeah. And, you can get me one while you're at it, because I got to be honest, I'd even have utility for this because the amount of crap I can haul. I love to haul crap.
Yeah, I mean, do you need... People say, oh, I want to pick up so I can haul stuff. Okay. Fold the seats down. You can haul a lot of stuff in this.
Yeah.
And you can haul tall stuff, too, because it's so tall.
Yeah.
And, so it's all good. I remember back in the 90s, you could fit a 4x8 piece of plywood in the back of a minivan. They had it cut specifically so you could...
I haven't measured lately.
Fit. I would suspect you can't, but you never know. We'll find out.
Yeah.
Can you fit a 4x8 piece sheet of plywood in the back? But I think that's it. So, we are solidly stuck in traffic. This is the perfect vehicle because it's electric.
Yeah.
To be stuck in traffic in. Full regenerative braking. And so we're going to go do that for a while.
Yeah.
But I think we've said everything we need to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Other than like, subscribe,
oh, it's true.
notifications.
Yes. There's the like button, and then there's the little bell. You subscribe. You like and then subscribe, and then you hit the bell to be notified of new videos, and leave a comment and tell us everything we got wrong, which is a lot.
Yeah. And we want to know, do you have questions? General discussion topics? Let us know.
Yeah, we'll talk about whatever. We got time to fill. But
we're in traffic.
Because we're sitting in traffic. We got nowhere to go. So that's it. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
So what did you pay for your XC40?
About this when I have to rebate? Yeah.
You could park the XC40 inside
we would have
of this.
paid almost $45,000 for the XC40 if not for doing overseas delivery. With overseas delivery...
Does that include like sales tax and stuff?
No.
Wow.